Hello, everyone. Well, that was unexpected. We still have 3 minutes. So we were trying to add Instagram and instead we went live. This is all learning and growing. So bear with us a moment as we get everything rolling and we'll try to get Instagram up. I don't know if I can add anything on here, but that's okay. We went live. I tried to
I don't
add
know
and we
why
went
you
live
did that.
instead.
Hi.
We are 2 minutes ahead of schedule. That is
Three.
okay.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
I know. It's great. It's great. We're here. So I think I figured out, but this is how we learn and grow. And this is what we're all about here at
Like,
Red Pill Astrology. Figured it out though. These are pre-scheduled. They're already in the calendar. So I think I have to go in and edit the schedule to include an additional thing for Instagram to add too. But we're live on Twitter and YouTube right now. So
hi.
yay, we will figure out this Instagram thing. This is where we're headed. We're going to get this together at one point in time.
Hey, we're almost there.
We are almost there. We are so close. Well, welcome everyone. This is Red Pill Astrology. We are doing our live. This is April 11th through the 20th. And this is no small week. This, or I should say, second third of the month of April. We're going to talk about eclipse, our very first eclipse of 2023. So exciting. And of course, we have the start of Taurus season. Happy solar return coming up to all the Tauruses out there, depending upon when you are watching this. But yeah, we are getting into some fixed earth energy. What do you want to start with first? Because they literally, like, depending upon your time zone, these two are happening not even a couple hours apart from each other. So what do you want to tackle Taurus first, or do you want to go
Yeah,
straight for the
because
big stuff?
I feel like we'll overlap. I don't know, whatever.
Okay.
You
Well, let's do our introductions. Let's talk about the daily dose and we'll go from there.
great.
All right.
Hi
I'll
guys.
let you go first.
Hi guys, I'm Simone with Ripples in the Matrix, co-founder of Red Pill Astrology, and we are just I wasn't ready, you guys. Now it's 3:30. Like, I mean, I'm like,
Now we're dropping in.
wait, what's happening? Anyway, a little bit about me. I'm a Capricorn rising, Libra sun, Gemini moon. So the Gemini moon apparently is out today. And yeah, I'm a strategic astrologer as well as a Karuna Holy Fire Reiki master and a yoga teacher, and in the process of completing my 340 hours. So I will be a 500-hour RYT. And yeah, I have a bunch of like fun things coming up. I have a Reiki certification, level 1, so you can self-treat. That's happening at the end of the month. I have a huge mastermind called Healing Hips coming up at the end of the year, and that we're going to be incorporating yoga,
all of the things you've learned. I mean,
the things.
this has
And
been a year journey for you.
yeah, and it's actually been like even more than that, because like I did Healing Hips last year. So it'll be like a solid year and a half since I first came up with this like amazing idea. I probably had that idea even longer than that, of doing Healing Hips, and it's just developed into, we're going to cover from Libra to Sag season, and Libra is, the relationship with others, and then we're going to be moving into Scorpio, so the intimacy and working through the healing and the integration of that, and then we're going to burst through with Sag season, who actually rules the hips anyway. So of course I made that astrologically aligned, and
Of course.
and so we are yeah, and then strategic astrology for corporations, and just literally creating ripples in the matrix. So, oh, and I have
Love
an
it.
online community.
You have a whole Mighty Networks just out there
Yeah.
thriving in life right now.
Oh my God. Yeah. So find me on Mighty Networks, Ripples in the Matrix community, and you can connect in there for free. And then, yeah. But yeah,
Right
I don't
on.
know why I had to say all that at the beginning, but I guess,
It
hi.
was what needed. Yeah. And obviously, for those that are on YouTube, I am active in the chat. So I've got all of those links up in the chat. Ripples on ripples, more like waves. There we go. Thank you, Noble Nine Adams. Thank you,
That's
sir.
the best. Oh,
Um,
look at this. Look at you with these.
oh,
Look at that.
yeah.
I
Look,
mean,
I may have started the stream 3 minutes early and I may not have added Instagram, but I got some things happening here.
dude,
Um,
there's something new
but those
every
are
time.
on there. It is. And for those in Twitter, I did find out the last one because we stream live to Twitter as well. I actually can't see. There were people leaving comments as we were streaming. We can't see those through this streaming software we're using. Gonna have to figure out how we get through all of that. I may have to just like have it
Maybe
up on
I
my
look.
phone.
Yeah, maybe I look on my phone. It's
Yeah.
3:33 here.
Hey. So, let's go ahead. And I am the
What
other
about
half
you?
of Red
I'm
Pill
like, what about you?
Astrology. Me, Maloney Adams. I am with Habitual Sages, and you can find again that link there. Find out everything. I do astrology, tarot. Those are my two modalities. There are lots of things that I am working on and are in the works as we move through this brand new, the new. We are in the middle of the new. And as we move through that, there's going to be more things to come. But right now, really focused on Red Pill Astrology, our capsule, the daily dose, which we'll talk about in a second, and my Twitchy Tuesdays, which is live stream to Twitch and YouTube every Tuesday. So let's talk about this awesomeness right here, the daily dose. We have an announcement. That's why we wanted to take a second and ground in. What do we got?
We are so excited. Are we talking about this today?
We're talking about what is going to happen when we get to the 19th, our next Red Pill Live.
So we are going right now. The capsule is only offered as a 3-month capsule. So it's a one and done payment, and you're in there for three months, and you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yep.
But for those of you that like have, I don't know, commitment issues and phobias and all of that, and you just like to trial things and you just want to test things out.
Very Taurus, by the way.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, and also very Venus and Gemini. Like, let me just see.
Yep.
So we have an option for you. So the 3-month is 111. And then we're going to be opening up a capsule for those who want to just do a monthly subscription for $44 a month.
Yep.
And that's for 30 days, and you're good to go. And if you're going to love it. And then when you love it, you're just going to want to get the 3 months because it's
and you just
cheaper.
keep rolling. Right. It's a little cheaper, but you've got the month by month if you need it.
If you want it, we got it. So we listened to the suggestions and we went for it. So yeah, that's going to be going live on
the 19th. So our next Red Pill Astrology Live is already scheduled. You can find it in YouTube. You can hit the notify me button. That is going to be focused solely on our first retrograde of 2023 in the actual year. Yes, we started the year with a retrograde, but the first one of this year, Mercury retrograde, it is a show dedicated to that. And in that show, we will be launching the monthly option so you can get stuff right away. We also can, who knows what fun stuff. All of a sudden my brain was just like, oh my God, we could do so much fun stuff with this. I can use like some of these great reactions, like and we can have a lot of fun. So that will occur on the 19th. So make sure you are around for that. Okay. Now that we are here, we are actually past the 5:30 my time mark, 3:30 your time mark. we can begin to talk about our two major things for this cycle. Let's do Taurus. I want to talk about Taurus season starting. So let me put that up here. There's the info right there. 420, of course. Hi, Taurus, starting on 420.
Of course.
Very early morning. Again, the moon, depending upon where you're at, is going to either be on the same day, which is the eclipse that we'll talk about here in a second, or it's going to be just a couple hours after, maybe into the next day for some. And this is the beginning of Taurus. The eclipse is a couple hours before this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I misheard you or whatever. Okay.
So you want to give the breakdown? Because that is what I love about Moni. Like, she gives the best breakdowns of the sign and the energy that they hold.
Sure. If that's what you believe, then I got it. If you like it, I love it. All right. So when we talk about Taurus, fixed earth, second, it's the ruler of the second house naturally. And this is where we start to implant and just cement in our sense of values, our financial energy, our love nature, and our material world. So this is like where we start to really, okay, so Aries, like we have all this creation, we have all this passion, we have this fiery fury, and like, what do we do with it? Taurus helps us figure out what we do with everything that Aries and Aries energy brought in for us. And I mean, I feel like every single sign matures. Yeah, I know matures, but I feel like there's a different way of saying the same thing. And that's what I was trying to say. But matures, maturizes, I think is a word. But anyway, but as it continues to traverse the wheel, we have like a maturing process that happens in every single just year that goes by. Literally, we are like, okay, so what did we learn from this last time that we were here? And what I think is so interesting about us talking about this today is we have the moon in Scorpio, and this is also, this is just carry or just follow along. The moon
so
in
divine.
Scorpio, the Scorpio energy is across directly from Taurus, and this is our Taurus is our personal energy of finances and love and all of that. Scorpio is how we do that with others. And it's that intimate energy. It's where we find trust or lack thereof. And
shared resources.
Yeah. And how trusting or not are you with those shared resources based on the programming that you have received from the traverse of the lower signs through the zodiac. So that means the first 6 signs of the zodiac. Then things start to get serious as we move into Libra and then Scorpio. And when we are working with Taurus energy, there's a few things to realize. One, it's the bull. You can be very stubborn. You can be very fixed, like just the hooves in the ground, not moving. This is my way. This is how I want to, like, this is how it's going to get done. Slow, steady, wins the race, because they will get it done in their time. Very meticulous energy, precise, precision. Ideally, there can be an energy of hoarding. But ideally in their like essence and where they really thrive is where it's actually very simplistic. But when when a Taurus is in their like fall or just not in their like full expression, when they're holding on to things. And I have quite a few Tauruses like that I know. And when they get to that spot and you're like, oh, all right, well, and there's no anything.
No, you can't tell them. You have to come at it from around, like from a different way. Because if you're going to go after their safety and their security and their sense of ... right? Whatever that sense is. And you have to understand that working with Tauruses, there is a lot about Taurus that revolves around the fear of loss.
Yeah.
And that can be loss of whatever, but figure in the Taurus realm, it is that money, the relationship, the safety, the security, all of those things. So when you're telling somebody that, especially a Taurus, that's that fixed earth, like, hey, things are going to change, boom, immediately it's no,
Resistance, not is it the way that
no,
I want it? I
right.
didn't initiate this change. This
Hold
wasn't
on.
my idea. And so if I didn't
Absolutely.
initiate it, then we're not okay with it.
Yes.
That's
And
terrible.
it's
Yeah.
all about making it their idea. That's a really great thing. Make it their idea.
Mhm.
And this is the what does it matter as long as we get there? There's also that sense of possessiveness.
Mhm.
Like
The
possessiveness
hoarding,
can
the
be,
holding
yeah,
on.
the
It's
hoarding, the
mine, it was
holding.
my idea, just like that, it was my idea.
Yep.
And not just not just physical things, but intangible things as well.
Mhm.
Really interesting. And you get to see where you're holding on to things, where you might be stuck in your own ways, how your programs are kind of like, oh, it's like a where there's a pothole. Like,
Mm.
oh, that's still there. Haven't
Yep.
worked through that one yet. Like I need to
Or you
fix the
just
earth.
patched it up. You like
Yeah.
really did a shitty job patching it up like most of our roads out here. And so it's quickly eroded because you didn't take the time to do it right the first time.
Mhm. Yeah, and I think what's interesting when we enter into Taurus season, we have to remember that it's going to pretty much immediately or a couple days in, yeah, conjunct to the North Node,
Mhm.
which will be pretty interesting to see how that like really starts to manifest. So when the sun goes into Taurus, it will be activating that Uranus energy. And so we
Mm.
have like we're approaching a massive awakening that will likely be what, about 16, 17 days in, depending on where Uranus is. And through that we're gonna have like, all right, so that's halfway
Mhm.
through Taurus season. There's going to be a massive revelation. You've heard it here first.
Preparedness. We love
No,
it.
like it's been known. But
It
like,
make it known. Ding. We're
yeah,
done.
like be aware. And when we think about Uranus, oh, the revolutionary, the one that wants to just shake shit up, cause the awakening, no apologies, very authentic, very in
Mhm.
power. And he's been in Taurus for quite some time.
And doing some, you
Yeah.
know, Taurus with that safety and that security, what we have seen through this, and this is a really great example of this. So, just to level set, when Taurus season starts, we'll have Mercury stationing retrograde. I think it's the same day, if not just a
The
couple
day
hours
after.
later. Okay, the day after. Mercury stationing retrograde, you have Uranus and the North Node still in the sign of Taurus when the sun ingresses. So we have a lot of this energy here, but how you can see Taurus being worked on is through what Uranus has been doing. Taurus is all about our material goods and how we get them, our essentials and how we own our essentials. What are the essentials that we need? And,
Clarifying and editing them, refining them,
yes,
what like true simplifying the essentials. The essentials are the essentials, but
yep,
do we even need all the essentials? It's like a Swiss Army knife. Like we have
right,
one knife, but we have 20 tools, depending on
right.
what kind of army knife you have.
And so, like, you've seen that in the disruption of goods getting to you, the increased cost of eggs, the inability to get something that most people deemed, right? And in today's society, most people would deem tampons as an essential thing. It's not. It's not. There's other ways to handle that and to move through that. And this is, toilet paper going all the way back. We're going to go back to 2020 on this one, right? And through the times, these things that we assume are essential, that's what Uranus and Taurus is really shaking up, is what really is essential. How do you work outside of that? Um, and then again, being ruled, Taurus rules the throat. How do you speak about those needs and those things that you are essential to you?
Taurus does rule the throat, but we have to be aware of the fact that it has a very big connection to the root.
Yes.
Safety, security, and
Yes.
actually planting things in. So
I do like that connection though, because if you think about it, like, yes, there is the safety and security, but without speaking your needs,
mhm.
that safety and security can't be grounded as much as it can when you can stand in your power and say no,
Yeah.
or I need this, or
Yeah.
hey, I need help, or hey, I'm going
I need
to
support.
I need support. Exactly. Hey, I am fixed. I know I'm fixed. I need support getting out of that fixed mindset.
Yeah. Mm. And what's interesting about Taurus is as well, like you might find yourself, no, I'm good.
Mhm.
Like the proud, like a proud energy of, because they could be mad at themselves that they couldn't do it on their own.
Mhm.
And as much as they want to do it on their own, they actually do want the help.
Right.
I feel like this is everyone, right? Like I want to be able to say that I did it on my
Well,
own,
we all
but I
have
want
Taurus
to
in our
want,
chart.
right. I want you to want to help me.
Right. And that
And
is
I want
where
the option of saying yes or no.
we use our throat to
Yeah.
actually speak, because again, unless you tell me something, I don't know what your needs are. I'm not going
Right.
to guess. I'm not going to come out. And I think that
And
is
I'm not going to
where
put
all of
myself out as well. I'm not going to just extend the offer or the hand
right.
because it's the right thing to do, or that's the program, or oh,
Right.
you're in need. But like, are you actually in need if you aren't
Speaking those
deeming the
needs.
need to ask for help?
Yep.
Like, who am I
100%.
to take away your experience of actually experiencing not asking for help?
Yeah. And this to
Because then
me
you
is
get to realize,
very
hey,
key.
maybe if I asked for help, I would have gotten the help that I didn't know that I needed, or that I needed,
And
but I didn't want to ask for. Sorry. Hi. Okay.
no, that's fine. This is Venus, because this is Venus moving through Taurus,
Yeah.
which when the sun ingresses into Taurus, Venus will no longer be there. She'll be in Gemini already. But I do want to tie that back, because the one thing I didn't hear you say was that Taurus is ruled by Venus. So that is its ruling planet. It is a feminine sign. Um, theme of I have, typically.
Mhm.
That's one of the key words. So all of what you just talked about is all around Venus and
Yeah.
her growing through her values and knowing her power, knowing when to stand, and knowing how to, bring up these sorts of things and say the things that she needs to say. So I love that. I love that you brought that in.
Yeah. And I think it's like super important. I just am going to nail it into again, like another nail, another nail, another nail, especially this weekend, guys, or whatever, until the 10th. Get fucking clear on your values. Like we have
Yes.
Mercury and Venus both in Taurus with the North Node. It would behoove you to fucking just identify
Yep.
your values. Look it
Yep.
up. There's a lovely book called Start with Why. And
Love the start with
that's
why.
a
Thank
wonderful.
you, Simon Sinek.
Yes, it's a wonderful opportunity. Put it on while you're cleaning the house, getting ready for tourist season, and put it on like YouTube freaking audiobook or whatever you want to do on 2.2x speed, and just get your shit done and understand how important your values are, and
Mhm.
funnel your decisions through them,
And I
because
think so just to explain, you're saying to do that before the 10th, because that's when Venus gets into Gemini.
yes.
And then I also co-sign that, because what's coming up next month is Jupiter getting into Taurus, where
Well,
if
and not only that, before that happens, the sun gets to conjunct Jupiter, and that will need like that needs that will like that actualization is going to be fucking massive, and it needs to be grounded in something. Otherwise everything's going to look like the shiny fucking
bright object that you want.
Yeah, that you want. Like, oh my god, that's one. That's it. That's it. Hello, I speaking from experience.
It's so true.
Trying
And
to
this
help
goes
you shorten timelines, okay?
and get the things that are actually there for you. Because again, manifestation, you have to be very clear and exact with your words. And you also have to be willing to go, that was really close, universe. I really appreciate that you brought that in for me. It is not exactly right yet. Let me say that again. And that goes back to what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you, which is that's this whole kind of Taurus season. What belongs to you and what doesn't? And that can be in multiple different areas, right? Like what types of material goods belong to me, what doesn't, where does my values are those my values or are those somebody else's? What belongs to me, what doesn't belong to me?
And it's also like maybe even something as deep as trauma, something as deep as like programs. Like, is this
Mm-hmm.
mine to hold? Is this my burden to carry? Because Taurus has the bandwidth, the backwidth, the strength, the
Mm-hmm.
endurance to hold a lot. That doesn't mean you have to.
Right.
Doesn't mean you have to at all. So
Right.
when you can identify what's yours, what's the other person's involved, and what's like the collectives, because I mean, I'm having a different experience than Maloney, and then you
Yep.
all out there are having different experiences. And then collectively, everyone, like the whole collective, is having a completely fucking different.
Completely different experience altogether.
So,
Exactly.
yeah, I think this is a good segue into the eclipse, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
Nope. I love it. And we were so aligned because look, I just popped it in the chat and was ready to have it up here. I have so much about this eclipse. Like I've got scrolling pages of notes on this eclipse. I'm really, really, really excited for it.
So
I
I would wait. I
love
just want to tell them that before we started this earlier today, we had a call just
Mhm.
about something completely different.
Mhm.
Um, and I was telling her, I was like, yeah, for the past, like, I mean, I don't know how long. Like, I haven't even been looking at the charts before. I
Right.
haven't, not even not looking at the charts. I haven't even been listening to other astrologers talk about any of it.
Which is great.
Yeah,
Just
this is all
actualizing
like,
on spot.
yeah, this is all self-trust and fucking like divinely channeled. So
Yep.
it's gonna be interesting to see what comes up.
And the juxta because I do still listen. I love looking at the things before. I like getting my this is me. I like getting all my things in line. Um, and for me, I always tend to get a phrase or a word. That's my big thing around moons. Like I'll get a phrase or a word when I like kind of shift through that energy. And are you ready for this phrase? This is so good. The world isn't waiting for you.
Ooh.
That is this moon. That
Ooh,
is
yeah.
this eclipse cycle. The world is not waiting for you.
I love that.
Period. I am so excited. So, all of the details are right there. It will happen this eclipse, which let's call it the right thing. It is an Aries hybrid solar eclipse. Go ahead.
Yeah, so we have to talk about, before we even talk about it, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. Aries solar eclipse. This is the
Mhm.
second new moon of Aries season.
Yes.
This doesn't happen very often, guys. The last time that I
Yes.
recall this happening was Cancer season of 2020.
And boy, wasn't that just a joy. And guess what? Pluto was also involved in that one. So we are back here again.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this is like this shifts. I spoke about this last one, I think. This shifts the moons.
Yes.
So moving forward, we will start in like the actual season of Taurus. We'll have its first big moon, whatever, like moon that whatever that people pay attention to, because they're all important. But the one that people pay attention to, it will be full, which means
Mhm.
we approach or initiate the season with like a letting go energy. And then
Yes.
we end and culminate with new birth. And I feel like it's like because we have lessons to learn that we have to let go of so that we can materialize, actualize, manifest, whatever.
You have to create the space.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's really interesting that it's starting in for Taurus season, allowing for, okay, how important it's going to be to let go of something, to let go of
Mhm.
probably things that are not in alignment with the values that you are going to be figuring out over the weekend.
Yep. 100%.
And
And
then what I have to say as well, not sorry,
no,
is
go for it.
is also that okay, so what's super interesting, the sun is still in Aries. The nodes are in the node that it's next to is in Taurus.
Mhm.
So we have this beautiful conversation going back and forth, and the reason why it's even considered an eclipse is because of the proximity. And as you can tell, this is at 29 degrees, 50 minutes, and the nodes are at 4 degrees, 1 minute. So it's close enough to have the eclipse energy to
Mhm.
where we are calling it an eclipse, because as the sun it moves and traverses through, it's going to be too far away from the node for it to even to have the conversation that it's going to be having here. And so we're having this dualistic energy, this receptivity energy going back and forth between these two. And then this is going to happen again further down the line in the next eclipse cycle, which is so
Which is towards the end of the year. So we have
yeah.
2 every year. We get
And
them
it's such a
in
trip
this
because
time
of the
and then
Scorpio
October, November.
energy. And
Mhm.
it's going to be, I mean, like, you can't make this shit up, man.
You really can't.
And the universe is not stupid. God's just,
Nope.
man.
It's so great. And
It's
we'll
like,
bring up I have the chart. We'll bring up the chart here in just a second, but just to kind of give more scientific area around it, like, well, what does the solar eclipse mean, etc. So first of all, this is the first eclipse in an Aries Libra axis since late 2015. So you can kind of like look around, what were you doing in 2015? That was a really long time ago, but this is a start of a conversation. What, we've got a 2-year conversation. Is
it's
it 2
usually
or is it
about
2.5?
it's usually about 6, 1.5.
1.5. Okay. I thought
But
for some reason it was a little longer this
it's a
time.
little longer because this is the nodes are not in Aries and Libra yet.
Gotcha. Okay. So the other thing about this is we are going from fixed to cardinal, which is another initiation.
But we have to acknowledge that this isn't actually, this is not this is still a Taurus ruled energy. Yes, it's Aries, but the nodes are not here yet.
They're not there. This is the start. It's the start of rolling.
No, it's
And
not.
as we
It's the start of, it's the initial eclipse season, but we're not in the Aries. I have to disagree. We're not like in Aries. We're not in the Aries North node.
Yep, totally understand that.
Okay.
So for me, when I look at eclipse season, this is the start of the change. I'm going to call it the changing of the guard, right?
Okay.
We are initiating into a new year of eclipses. And
Pink
as
and
at
white nails. Did you get pink and white on your
I
nails?
got no, they are lime green. I had to get the green because it's Taurus season.
But either way,
I
you
know it's
got
fabulous.
French.
I did. They
Oh
look
my
great.
god. Sorry guys, not sorry.
No, look, thank you for acknowledging my Venus is very happy. Thank you. So as we go through this changing of the guard, we have this little bit of a back and forth between the Aries Libra axis and the Scorpio Taurus axis, which it's this little give, little take, little get, we get little tastes, we go, and then all of a sudden, boom, we settle. That's how I always look at eclipse season starting. I am always in that mode of we are changing into something here, especially in this year. And solar eclipses are new moons, just so that way everybody has that little level set. And from the scientific perspective, a solar eclipse is when the moon passes between the earth and the sun therefore either totally or partially obscuring the sun from our position on Earth when we are looking up. This is a hybrid solar eclipse, which is a more rare type of eclipse, which just means is as this happens, the appearance of the moon's shadow changes and it moves across the Earth's surface. So it doesn't exactly look like a full eclipse. It
Well,
will
the
be
hybrid is also referring to the fact that Taurus, the nodes are in Taurus and
in
Scorpio.
one sign. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. It will be visible in Indonesia and Australia. I know you're like, I don't care about the science. I'm like, let
Hello,
me get the science
Taurus
in.
energy activated.
Right? Let me get the science
Mercury and
in.
Taurus activated.
So we won't see this at all. In fact, we actually don't see these eclipses. The United States will be very heavy into the eclipse sightings when it gets towards the end of the year and into 2024. In fact, I am really excited to see what that looks like, but we'll get there because Texas is highly activated in those eclipses. And they always come in pairs. So we always have eclipse season starting. They come in twos. When we go towards the end of the year, they'll come in twos. So the next one is a lunar eclipse in Scorpio, going back to what you were saying, kind of that, again, that changing of the guard. So that is just kind of that
Lunar
science
eclipse in
background.
Scorpio. That means moon. That means the sun is going to be in Libra, and then the nodes are going to be in Aries and Libra, and the moon is going to be in Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be so no. I'm just like it's just so fucking interesting. It's
going to be great, and that's going to be on May 5th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. All right, let me pull up this chart.
That's whatever I just said is wrong. Don't delete that from your brain, guys. Just this one part right here.
All right.
I went straight into like Libra season. My brain went like
I was
fast
like,
forward.
you're gonna get there. All right, let me we got to do green cuz we're in Taurus season. All right. So, where do you want me? I'll highlight, you talk.
I don't see this chart yet.
We don't see the chart? Oh, hold please while I consult my resources. Oh, because I need to show it on the stream. Let me go ahead and yep. Can I hide that? How's that? We there?
Yep.
Boom. All right. So,
all right.
Where would you like me to draw?
The sun and the moon.
Okay.
Over
Those
here,
are right here
on the right-hand side, 29 degrees, 50 minutes. Beautiful of Aries. I mean, okay, so Aries energy, let's not forget this cardinal fire, this like there's just so much authenticity, there's so much individuality, motivation, drive, like passion, like fire. Hopefully by now you've really realized in this energy like how to sustain your flame, like, and not let it go out. Again, it's a great weekend and from now until then to really, what are you going to do to sustain it, because it's going to be needed as we move through the year. And when I mean, okay, so first of all, yes, conjunct the North Node is right there at 4 degrees in the red, and it's red.
Oh, that is not what there we go. That's the North Node.
There we go. And that is our destiny. It's what we're moving towards. Like, well, literally the sun and the moon, but it's what we're moving towards in this energy. And that North Node really has just been, again, really cementing in our values and making sure that what we are moving into is moving us into in alignment with our values. And in the process, we have the South Node over here, Lone Ranger,
which is right here,
by himself, which is totally fine. In Scorpio, I mean, it's fine because it is.
I mean, the whole second half, right, is just like this whole piece is empty.
I mean, even like, I feel like, yeah, it's the second half, but I feel like it's just like more than that. It just is like, I mean, there's just a lot over here, like, and there's a massive focus on this part of your chart. So Aries and Taurus is really getting highlighted, and
Yep.
we
And this is Taurus
have,
right here.
yep. And so we have to look at Mars, because Mars is the ruler, and he's still over here in Cancer having a great time moving through it, literally. And what
Literally.
else is very prevalent with Mars and Cancer is it will be showing you, if it hasn't already, and I'm sure it already has, your mother wounds, your inner child wounds, that are likely activated, because he's literally moving through the waters, and as he's trudging through, and then as he's swimming through, it's having things stir up. And the Cancerian energy does have to do with our mothers, our ancestors, our roots, and really like home. So how can you bring yourself back home? Because, like, how can you give yourself the apology that you're seeking from your mother? That's likely never going to happen. Like, and that could be for a few different reasons. I feel there's the message of, like, sorry, but of death, in this energy as well. And I feel like it's even like the death of the you, because like this final, like, culmination, 29 degrees, guys, of a
Right.
sign, massive. And this is a death before the new can come into existence. And we have Pluto here at 0 degrees of Scorpio. Aquarius.
Whoa.
Yeah, we timeline jumped.
And this is Aquarius right here.
And he's over here squaring the sun and the moon. And he's
Hold,
having
please.
this
Bam.
nice.
Thanks.
He's having this like applied pressure of
Yeah.
and I want to give Pluto some credit, because we give him such a bad rap of like this. Yes, he's very fucking serious. But whatever conversation that he's having, and as you can see, he's having one with the sun and the moon in the north node and also the south node. It's for your highest and greatest good. If you're
Right.
feeling the pressure, you're anchored into it, it's for your highest and greatest good, because of what he wants you to do. He knows your soul's full potential. He moves so slowly that he is like, I know where you can go, because I know why you're here. Like, this is why I feel like he's the reminder of the slow, steady wins the race. It's about the journey, not the destination. And so that's why he fucking is basically, I feel like he's in his shadow, like
Doing the work.
I feel like he's never not in his shadow. I think I had that revelation at some point, because of like, he's 6 months retrograde. And then by the time he moves out of the shadow, he's now in the shadow of the next retrograde. So he's never not traversing the shadow. And so he's always doing the work. He's always integrating. He's always, what more is there here to do? But here's the thing with that. If you're always looking for more to do, there's always going to be more to do. And so when you allow yourself to settle into the knowingness of who you are, Aries, you can calm the like chaos that could be occurring, because I feel like there's so much noise, like, and especially with Pluto and Aquarius, that Aquarian energy, there's so much noise from different artificial intelligence and other people, and just coming in, the input of information of whatever you're looking for. It's,
I mean,
there.
even this is noisy too. Like, all of this is very noisy. This is very noisy. So there's a lot of noise in every aspect right now.
Yeah. Okay, what do you have to say about that?
So I've got, first off, in Aries, this is the sun's exaltation. So having another new moon here, the sun is exalted at its highest and best. And yes, Mars is the ruler. But what I think is really interesting, and depending again, how you look at astrology and whether you're just like straight in modern times or if you still use some of the old rulership, Mars is not only the ruler of this eclipse, he's the ruler of the next one as well. So Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio, although in modern astrology Pluto now owns that has that ownership. um However, again, it Mars was ruling for a very long time, this sign. So there's still something there. And he will still be in Cancer. So this Mars in Cancer, going through everything that you said, especially with Pluto, then activating that scorpionic energy, that digging energy, activating into the next one. It's really like Mars is doing a lot in Cancer, and it's almost so subtle. Sometimes I'm like, am I missing something? Like I'm so happy to be free of Mars and Gemini, where I'm like, okay, but I can't lose focus, right? Like I need to still listen because this is our spiritual activation. You've been saying that for a month now, right? Like Mars in Cancer can really help us activate that emotionally strong warrior energy. And how do we sit as things change? How do we empathize with others? How do we again go through our shadow work process and own that and take action towards it? And
Yeah.
then what's really interesting is this is, again, I'm going to go back to that changing of the guards with the Taurus, Scorpio versus Aries and Libra access. And this square to Pluto, it's almost, again, there's this opening, but it's all of the things that happen after this opening that this eclipse, this first round of eclipse, this is just like the prelude, like the initial prologue of a story. Like you haven't even gotten into the fucking book yet.
Yeah.
You're 22 pages deep and like fully immersed in a book. I know I have books that are like that, and you haven't even hit fucking chapter 1.
Right.
You're still getting into it. And this Taurus Scorpio versus Aries Libra. So there's something here with power and financial and those that actually rule. And what I mean by that is in the Taurus and Scorpio axis, what we saw a lot happen through these eclipses over the last year and everything is the changing of power and financial money being moved around somewhere, right? Even, and then obviously we had Uranus to thank a lot for that too. Like in our last eclipse season with the full nodes having them fully be in Taurus and Scorpio, Kanye West, right? How much money did he lose through that process, through that eclipse season? Elon buying Twitter. That is a position of power. That is a change of power, but it costs a lot of money to do so.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Nope. Well, I see things.
Yes.
I want to talk about, but I don't know if you're done. And
the last thing that I'll go with that, and then let's get into it, is going into this Aries Libra, which is not necessarily around power shifting, but like actual rulership, because that, like, when you look at that Aries energy, that's rulership, right? People who are in positions of power that rule, whatever you want to call that term, over others. And this has significant implications. Like this moon and this whole configuration lighting up Joe Biden's chart, lighting it up. It has implications in the US Sibley chart. It has implications for other charts of and we're talking nation charts. So it's going to be this really interesting, again, prologue to a longer story that is going to continue through this year and next year.
Yeah.
What do you see? Tell me what those eyes see.
Yeah. Okay. So we have to talk about, Saturn And then Mars is square to Chiron. Let's talk about that first. It's a little less dynamic. Okay. Mars is square to Chiron. Chiron's at 16 degrees of Aries, and Mars is over there at 13 degrees. And isn't it so funny how we go over it exactly the same every time? I do that. So this is, it's not exact just yet. It's forming, and as this is happening, like this moon is going to show us, how our healing, like, I mean, your, like, that mother wound that you are avoiding, that part of you that you are avoiding, seeing fully, because Mars is also sextiling the North Node, and that sextile to the North Node is, it's this reminder of you have to heal to move, like especially like this, and because as well, excuse me, my brain, my eyes, it's not the North Node, that's Mercury. Pardon, that's Mercury. That's Mercury. My apologies, everyone. Whoa, how many times I'm gonna say sorry? But we're gonna talk about the North Node in a second, so it's fine.
Okay. There we go.
So this is a conversation that needs to be had in order to heal through your shit. Because, and it could be a conversation with yourself. It could be an apology to yourself, because Chiron and Aries has actually been helping us be able to apologize and to forgive and to, like, move the ego, like, humble thyself, ground into, okay, taking accountability, accepting responsibility, owning where you could have been at fault. Maybe not only owning the entire thing, but like, hey, I did play a part in this. And not to make you wrong, me right, you wrong. But I acknowledge where I could have done better, been better. And I see how that hurt you. I see how, having this bigger conversation of this evolved, matured, like, Mars. We've gone around the zodiac fucking wheel since the time of existence, whenever the fuck that was. So we have, and our soul has this knowingness of, like, we know how to be better. We know how to do better. We know how to be good humans. Like, and with Chiron sitting, he's not really fucking moving much all year. Like, he's not doing much traversing. And he's in the middle of this. He's in the middle of Aries, of, like, really, like, there's something here. The 16-degree energy of a lot of signs, or a lot of, like, there's been a lot of 16 degrees. There's been a lot of 16-degree moons. That this Chiron is now at the place where this last full moon was. So he's now revisiting the conversation that we just had, 2 days ago, last night, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And now Mars is over here, like, okay, so what do I have to do with this? Like, what do I need to do now? Especially,
how do I stay in that emotional maturity?
Yeah, because Mars in the last moon, you guys can go back and watch that one, or in the full moon, just had that massive conversation with Saturn. And now here's Saturn,
which is right here. Hold on, let me.
Right here, and he's over here, Saturn, sextiling the North Node, squaring the South Node, further cementing in what we learned in this last full moon just a couple days ago.
He's trining.
Thank you. Fucking smell. Trining. Thank you. So this is beautiful. He's fully supporting the growth. He's fully supporting this conversation. He's reminding us of, hey, there's something here to look at. There's some seriousness aspect here. You have, what are you doing?
I'm deleting the things so that way people can see where we're at. You're fine. Keep going.
It's fine. Leave it. Just keep highlighting. Highlight over. No, yeah. We gotta train them. This is how we read charts, and it becomes so beautiful and colorful, and then it's like, oh, look at that. So when we have this like beautiful conversation between our past and our future, and the reminder of you have to do the
The
work to
work
heal
you have
your
to do to
past.
get there.
Yeah, the work you have to do to get there, and
Mhm.
you have to heal your past in order to grow through it. Like, it might be uncomfortable, but so is change. So is,
Mhm.
so is growth. And so it's this growing pain energy that um which is interesting because it's a new moon. We think of new moons of like really exciting and like, or just I'm gonna plant seeds. And yes, plant, I don't know. I'm getting a release. I'm getting a letting go energy here. Like I'm getting, yes, plants, plant, but like also deem what you need to be essential to carry into Taurus season, because
Right.
it's the same. It's like fucking 10 minutes out. It's like just a little bit after.
Yeah, and there's this I kept getting
Oh, that's what it
again.
was. Saturn was squaring Mars in the lot in the no, they were trining too. So now he's having he's having the trine carrying over from the trine that he had with Mars in this last one. And now he's like, okay, now let me have a conversation with these fuckers. Let's
Past
talk
and
to the
future,
past.
let's go.
Yeah, like, okay, now here we're at. And now he's like, okay, so are you gonna make the moves to make him move? Like,
Yeah.
is he ready?
Well, and that's really like for me, this is where this phrase for me came from. The world isn't waiting for you because, again, yes, this is typically the time to plant, it's the time to manifest, but there's a shift and a change happening. And the world, these nodes are not fucking waiting for you to figure it out anymore. So it's how is yourself shifting and changing? And it's like this simultaneous letting go
I have another
and
thing.
taking action,
Yeah. Oh
going
yeah.
forward and then move and then like sitting and moving.
Hmm.
And it's quick. Like that's the other thing is everything about this eclipse is incredibly quick to me. Like it's fast because you immediately have this, immediately the sun drops into Taurus, immediately or I'm sorry, excuse me, moon first. Moon drops into Taurus, sun drops into Taurus, and then Mercury goes it's like there are things happening. And it's almost like our timelines are kind of moving up a little bit. They're getting a little more like pushed forward
They're
and
splitting.
they're they could be splitting and I always look at timelines and like leveling up as like escalators are and I saw this as a train, right? Where you're like on a platform getting ready for the train. The world ain't wait the train is not fucking waiting for you.
Right.
It doesn't it's not waiting for you. It has a timeline to keep. Speaking of Mercury, in Taurus and trains, this is probably why it came through, but it doesn't have time to wait for you. It is on its own schedule. And so if you are standing on that platform trying to figure your shit out, or what am I going to do? Oh my God, I'm not really sure. And the train doors are going to close. You will not be able to get them open. The train is going to go. Now, that doesn't mean that another train isn't coming. Another train's going to come, but you are now going to have to wait.
Hmm.
So it's this like, you got to be snappy. You got to decide to get on that train quickly. If
Yeah.
that's your train, if that's the one that you want to go for, you got to get on. And so it is this simultaneous like release and action all at the same time.
Yeah, and I think there's also something here with the fact the sun and the moon, 29 degrees, 50 minutes. That's, the nodes do move backwards. So when the north node enters into Aries, it will be energizing this point. And so again, be very intentional. Like this
Yeah.
is cementing in something that will be happening like further in July when the nodes do come
Mhm.
into this space. And so, when we're thinking about this as well, I actually love how long Chiron is taking here because there's a seriousness in the healing process of our sense of self, and by us healing who we like, our healing, and yet at the same time fully embodying our power and our personal power, because we're healing from our traumas, from whatever that looks like. We are now having the North Node here, like blessing us with like, just, it's going to be very evident of how much work you've done over these last, like, I mean, I'm going to call it since 2019, when Chiron first moved into Aries, because yes, the nodes, like, what, but like, that's, I think that's really where this has like really been initiated. We move from that disempowered victimhood of Pisces to like, me, to whoa, yes, me, but like also you.
Right.
And then I feel like it's like really beautiful. The South Node in Libra, like healing our people pleasing tendencies, the manipulative aspects of Libra, the judgmental aspects of Libra. You know, like Libra, yes, it's like the it's the only like sign that's represented by like something that's not, doesn't have a heart, right? It doesn't, what's interesting is that it's basically the judge of the heart.
Right.
And it's like, but fucking Libra is like a very judgmental sign, because it's like, well, who are you to try to tell me otherwise? It's the scales, it's justice, and you, in order to deem what justice is, you have to like decide right versus wrong, and maybe you actually just get to be the scale instead of having to be the, because when you're the scale, you actually embody the non-duality of it. And I think that's actually where Libra has power, because the dualistic thing of, you know, it's not right versus wrong, like this whole fucking shit going on in the world, like not like just like the healing world, I guess, but like when you look at different other modalities of what healing is, and how to like work through your shit, the actual true essence of things isn't dualistic. It's that we are all, and which goes back to sense of self and back to Aries.
And this is that access I always get, like, what are you here to contribute as who you really are, Aries, right? And into the collective, into the relationships that you have, into the relationship with the world, into all of those Libra things, right? And are you almost back to that scales of, you know, maybe some ways that this is just coming in right now, maybe some ways that those scales are balanced is getting into who you really are and standing in your personal power, getting that self-sovereignty and growing and developing in that way. That helps you balance out the scales within yourself, within what you're doing for the world, within all of the things. Again, it always goes back to this, like, it really is all about you and nothing about you all at the same time.
And
And
that's what carries weight.
Yes, exactly. The other thing I will say, just because this is, I'm really, again, eclipses are never, they're not like the moon where the energy comes and goes, right? Like, okay, we got like 2 days before, 2 days after. We got seasons. We got seasons of this. And I am really feeling like, expect things to be, this is what I was really feeling into, is whatever being is for you right now, whether that's extreme chaos, extreme change, extreme harmony, extreme, whatever it is, whatever your state of being is at this moment, like, this is going to be here until at least the second half of May, right? We've got to get Taurus in, or we've got to get Jupiter into Taurus. We've got to get through this second eclipse. We've, like, whatever this energy is opening, simultaneously opening whatever train you're getting on, whatever 14 trains are coming, maybe the doors only open in 1 second and then they close and go. That is all going to be here before it finally settles later on in May. So there is still this like hold on for the ride type of energy going on.
Yeah. I mean, such is life though.
Such is life. Okay, can I stop sharing this?
Mhm.
Beautiful. Let me get back. Here we are. All right. Anything else that we want to say or wrap up? Again, happy solar returns to all the Tauruses out there whenever you are watching this. This was a great one. Man, this eclipse season, I'm so excited. I'm very excited. All right. So that's going to conclude our Red Pill Live. Again, make sure that let me get my little thing here. Boom. Make sure that you are subscribing to Red Pill Astrology on YouTube, turning on alerts. Subscribe is now actually a button. You get to click it and then you can hit that bell so that way you know when we're on, when we go live. And also make sure to like and share. That is how we grow this community and we continue to grow and develop. You can find everything in the description box that you need, where to find us, how to get more astrology information, and all of the fun things. And we are going to work on getting into Instagram for the next one. So we will be there.
Excited about that.
Very excited. Anything else you want to end with?
No, guys. If you celebrate this holiday that's here this weekend, happy, joy in all the ways and all the things. Stay prayed up. Stay prayed up.
Love it.
Stay prayed up.
There we go. All right. Talk to everybody later. Bye.
Bye.